Hi everyone, this is Melissa from Melissa Made, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a project using the September paper door kit called Corny Candy Corns. I will be doing Copic coloring today, and I'm showing you now the Copics that I'll be using. I'll also be using a sheet of paper that I can color on with my Copics. If you don't use Copics, use whatever works for you. Some of the ribbon that came in the kit. I'll also be using masking paper, or you could use Post-it notes, and I'll be using the adorable little candy corn stamps that come in the kit. And I'm just putting these onto an acrylic block and then inking them up with my Memento Tuxedo black ink and simply stamping them on that paper that I can use for my Copics. Again, you don't have to use Copics. If you prefer colored pencils or watercoloring, please feel free. I'm also stamping the candy corn with the bite out of it onto some masking paper, and I don't re-ink my stamp to stamp onto masking paper. I just simply use any ink that's left over to kind of clean my stamp off on the masking paper, and then I'll cut that out with my scissors right to the line so that I can use that for a mask. And then once you have that cut out entirely, it doesn't have to be perfect because what you're going to see is that portions of it will get covered by the other stamp. But what I do when I'm finished with a mask like this is I actually save it with my stamp set, so if I ever need it to use it again, I can. So I'll put that mask on top of the little candy corn guy, and again, if you have Post-its, you can use that too. Post-it notes, they do have sticky stuff that helps adhere. I'll ink up a second stamp with my Memento Tuxedo black, stamp that, and then I will grab another little candy corn that comes in the set and ink that up. Now all three of these are going to go onto the cute little containers that come in this kit, and I will be coloring these and then fussy cutting them. Now your other option is to stamp each little candy corn individual and then layer them on the container. However, I think with a very simple design like these candy corns are, cutting something out is not very hard. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the faces, and I do speed up my video quite a bit here. I'm also using Memento ink for the little faces because I am going to be using Copics with this, and remember that Memento ink is Copic safe. Anything else that you have is probably not going to be Copic safe in terms of, like VersaFine or VersaFine Clear. Those are better if you want a watercolor, but not good for using Copic markers. So now I'm going in with my Copics, and I start with a YR04 and kind of brush in some color, and then I go in with an R24 and brush in some color there. And now that is where I want my darkest color, and you might think to yourself, oh my gosh, why is she using red? Because red is such a contrast, to orange. And the reason why is because it actually gives a really good shading, and it makes your coloring much more vibrant with the red than any other shadow color. You could use a gray underneath, and that works well, but I think for oranges and, bright colors, it's nice to use a little bit of red for a shadow. So now I'm going to go in with some Y11 and do the same thing, just brush that color in. Yellows are much easier to blend than other colors, so I can put in the light color and add in the Y19 next and not be too concerned about that marker drying out on my paper, because when I come in with the Y13, I'll be able to blend that yellow out nice and easy. So sometimes I will brush in my color over the darkest. Sometimes I'll use kind of a circle pattern when I color, and I do that because that helps blend. And then the last thing I'll do is go in with a C00 and a C1 and just add some shading on the white so that it all makes sense. I think that adding contrast to white is important. A lot of people just would leave that blank, but it actually gives a nice little touch. Now I do notice that his eyes are yellow. I colored right over them, so I'm going to take my Copic colorless blender and simply push that color right out so his eyes are white again. And you can always do that technique if you need to kind of get rid of some color. The Copic colorless blender doesn't actually blend ink. What it really does is it moves the ink away. So, coloring inside of those eyes moves that ink and you can get rid of it. So now I'm just taking my nice scissors and fussy cutting these little guys out. And again, as I said before, you could actually use the die cut that comes and cut these individual and then layer them. But again, simple design makes fussy cutting pretty easy. And I'm not being, super careful. I'm just going right along the edge, leaving a little bit of a white space around those candy corns. So now I'm going to adhere those to the cute little takeout box that comes in your paper door kit. I'm using these permanent glue dot adhesive squares. I love them. They come in this runner and they're super sticky, so I know they're not going to come off of this box once I adhere them to the box. So now that that's finished, I actually want to make a little tag for the box. So also in this set, not only do you get the die cut for the little candy corns, you also get little tag die cuts. And so I cut that out, and now I'm inking up a Happy Halloween sentiment that comes in the candy corn stamp set with VersaFine Claire and Nocturne. And I will be punching out a little hole with my Crop-A-Dile and then simply adding that to the candy corn box when I'm finished. So now I'm taking candy corn, and in the kit you get these cute little plastic bags. So I'm simply adding some candy corns to that, adding more glue dots to make sure that that stays closed, and then tucking that inside of my box. And then in addition to that, I'm going to take the tag, and instead of adding ribbon, I'm just going to cut a little notch so that it hangs on there. If you need it to be secure, you could always use a little bit of twine or some of the ribbon that comes in the kit. And last, I'm just going to be taking some adorable ribbon here and tying it on to the little handle of the box, and that will complete today's project. I hope you enjoyed this project from Whimsy Stamps and the Paper Door Kit, and you can find links to all the products used below in the description box.